Coming to Beyond the Uniform this February, we've got 4 brand new episodes and 4 brand new webinars, all for free, starting with episode number 340, The Power of Meditation with John McCaskill.
In the SEAL teams, I had some ups and downs, some stressful moments, some depressing times. And I had a psychologist recommend mindfulness to me. And I kind of laughed at him and I said, you know what, man, I'm a 6'2" Navy SEAL. I can't be telling my guys that I'm meditating, because I kind of had this stereotype in my mind of what a meditator is, and nothing against those stereotypes, but I don't see myself as one of them. And he kind of laughed back at me and he was like, okay, well, here's the physiology behind it. I'm going to sit you down and explain what's going on in your mind. And then I want to show you some high-performing individuals that do it and the benefits of practicing.
Episode number 341, From Air Force to U.S. Ambassador with Ambassador Gary Groppo.
And of course, it was after that, then I was named by President to be the U.S. Ambassador in Oman. 3 years in that position, and then I was asked by the Secretary to go to Iraq. So I had a pretty diverse career, although much of it obviously spent in the Middle East. I always felt that if you wanted to do that roll up your sleeve, hands-on work of diplomacy, there was no more challenging place in the world than the Middle East, and that certainly proved correct. It was indeed very, very challenging.
Episode number 342, Army to Google Software Engineer with Joe Scheffer.
And after about 5.5 years, I was teaching troop leading procedures at IVOLIC. And a recruiter from Google and a recruiter for high-frequency trading companies had found my GitHub profile. So the Google recruiter, I told him to wait because I didn't think that there was any way I would pass. But for the high-frequency trading recruiter, I bought Cracking the Coding Interview, studied up for several months. I went to 4 interviews, only got 1 job offer, but that was the push I needed to pursue software development full-time.
Episode number 343, Army to U.S. Congressman with Brian Mast.
Yeah, running for office was not this lifelong plan for me. I was a lifer in the military. That was my lifelong plan. I intended to be in the military for 20 or 30 years. I spent my time as a bomb technician, or EOD. I was injured back in 2010 while I was serving in Afghanistan. And when I woke up in a hospital bed in Walter Reed Army Medical Center here in Washington, D.C., not long after waking up there, I realized I wasn't going to return to the battlefield in the same way ever that I had left the battlefield. And I still needed to make sure that as my father told me while I was laying in that bed, I need to find a way to make sure that the best thing I did, the best defense that I give this country, was still in front of me each and every day. You got to wake up and look forward to the next day, know that you're on the uphill, not the downhill. And while I was laying there, before I could ever get out of the bed, I decided, you know what, maybe my next battlefield would be a battlefield of words and ideas and as a member of Congress.
You do not want to miss out on our webinar series. You can join us live, or you can get a free video copy of the webinar. They've been getting wildly positive feedback, and in February we've got Designing Alliances in the Workplace and at Home with Floyd Carlson on February 5th. We have Video Marketing 101 with Richard Cardona on February 12th. If you did not listen to Richard's interview, he's one of my favorite people right now. That is going to be an absolutely killer webinar. We have Finding Your Values, the Character Arc with Komet Bailey on February 17th. And we have How to Write the Best Job Application of Your Life with Danny Rubin on February 24th. Register today at beyondtheuniform.org/events and listen to their podcast interviews before you go to those webinars, because we're going to go deep in each of them. Also, be sure to check out March 2nd's upcoming webinar with Lockheed Martin and March 9th's webinar on purpose mapping. This is a 90-minute webinar. Craig Philick and I are both going to be doing this, co-leading this. We're doing a lot more around purpose. I'm very, very excited for this, so do not miss out on that webinar on March 9th around purpose mapping. You can register for those today at beyondtheuniform.org/events. Also, if you want to check out previous webinars, you can go to the publications section of our website, and you'll see an on-demand webinars link. That will give you access to any previously recorded webinar. Have a wonderful time, and we're excited for February 2020.